Another day and it's back on the rooftops. Pretty shortly, we're going to be reaching 1,000 laps at the RD rooftop, so that's going to be a pretty nice milestone. And of course, we're still chipping away at the Frost Dragons on the other account. Last night, I was able to chip away at the fishing levels, and as such, we have just about over 300,000 EXP remaining till 96. That is more than likely going to be the next level, which is going to get us to a total level of 2,000. So I'm looking forward to that. It didn't take too long for us to get a drop today. 12 dragon nails, much better than yesterday when we were getting like 5, 6, 7. 12 is a pretty good number because the range is 5 to 15. So while we're farming up these frost dragon bones, let's go over the prayer situation once again. Previously, we disclosed that we need roughly 2.5 million blessed bone shards in order to get from 63 to 99 prayer. Well, I don't know why I opened up the tab there. We're on the wrong account. But yeah, 63 to 99, a whopping 2.5 million blessed bone shards. Currently, as it stands, we have about anywhere between 700 to 800k. I'm doing just very rough math here. And so we're a long ways away. And speaking of a long ways away, I don't know if I'm going to be here at Frost Dragons the entire time because while this is nice, we're actually not getting as many bones as we would if we were at Blue Dragons, because at Blue Dragons, we're pretty much 2 to 3 shotting Blue Dragons at any given time. These Frost Dragons are a little bit tougher though. So we have 800,000 of the 2.5 million bank. That leaves us with another 1.7 million very roughly to obtain. Now, how much is each Frost Dragon bone worth in terms of blessed bone shards? Well, according to the wiki, one Frost Dragon bone is 84 shards. Let's plug that into the calculator real quick. Basically, we take 1.7 million and divide it by 84, and that means we need 20,238 Frost Dragon bones. And keep in mind, this is by means of very rough math, so we're likely going to need more than that. And that also means about over 20,000 Frost Dragons. How long is that going to take? We're going to continue for now, and I'm most definitely going to continue up until I have enough supplies to make another rosewood hull for sailing. But after that, I guess we'll just reassess our situation. 1,000 laps at the RD rooftop. 4 digits now. Can't look back. Well, we can, but we can't go back. Peeled off because it is birdhouse o'clock, but it also just occurred to me, I think it might be that time of the week to do another Tears of Guthix run. I've been doing a much better job recently of keeping track of Tears of Guthix, but in general, over multiple accounts, it's not something I usually do. But we're going to take full advantage of that on this account, and that means we're going to be 2,000 total level, and my prediction was wrong. I was going to say fishing was going to carry us to that mark, but it's just going to be sailing because we're just level 31 there. We're definitely going to pick up a level, maybe 2. I think last time at Tears of Guthix, we ended up jumping from 31 to 36. Probably not going to expect as big of a jump this time around, but we're definitely going to pick up a few levels. Just 3 tiers shy of tying my PB. We're going to go from 36 to 40 sailing, so base 40s now, and 2003 total level. We surpassed the iconic total 2,000 mark. A lot of people like to do like a check-in post at total level 2,000. Don't think I'll be doing that, at least not like a Reddit post, but here we are. Because I jumped 4 sailing levels, it completely skipped over 2,000 total level, and it didn't do a clan broadcast or even a group broadcast. That's a little anticlimactic. So now that we know we're going to be doing thousands upon thousands of dragons, I'm not going to show every single drop, but dragon metal sheets are pretty notable, especially off task being a 1 in 220. So that is, I believe, our 4th one. We're racking up the laps today. So far, so good. We're closer to 1,100 laps now. But my clanmate here has been standing here for the last couple of laps I've been doing. And it reminds me of those like typical situations. You know, you got like the school gym teacher just comfortably sitting in their chair or whatever. And then you got the students running laps and the coach is just, you know, like yelling. I don't know. Just like a little funny scenario, I guess. I guess in instances like this, it is pretty notable. We got 2 dragon nail drops in one trip so far. 20, 11, and a 9. Not too shabby. 2 dragon cannonball drops in one trip, a 20 and 18. So big loot there. These things are actually worth, well, actually, I guess the cannonballs aren't worth too much, but the nails and the metal sheets have held price ever since the release of sailing. Over 200 lap today, and the game just gave me a message. You know, if you've stayed logged in for 4 hours, it always gives you this message. You've been playing for a while. Consider taking a break from your screen. And you know what? I'm probably going to do just that. So let me finish out this lap and also finish out the trip at Frost Dragons. And we'll also update us on where we're standing in terms of the prayer EXP. How many Frost Dragon bones we might have. Also, actually, in a couple of minutes, it's going to be time for another birdhouse run, so I might as well wait on that and then take my break. All right, we just finished up a trip. Let's go ahead and look into the bank to see how many Frost Dragon bones we have. We have 2,069. Nice. What that means is we've done about 800 Frost Dragons since coming back to Frost Dragons and doing this grind. Honestly, it's been a few days now, and that doesn't sound too good of a number, to be honest. It sounds very low. Of course, we also spent some time at Blue Dragons initially, and we already had like 9,000 Dragon Bones sitting in the bank, and we're up to 9,500. So accumulating Dragon Bones is much, much quicker than Frost Dragon Bones. Obviously, there is the EXP disparity, but I think in terms of efficiency, Blue Dragons is better to kill for the EXP per hour. But as I've disclosed before, Frost Dragons just have more to offer, namely the Dragon Nails, which we have up to 113 now, as well as the Dragon Metal Sheets. We have 6 of those, and personally, I don't have too much use for Dragon Cannonballs, but we have nearly 400 of those as well. If I want to speed this process up, I suppose I have 2 options. Option A, we're going to continue at Frost Dragons and stop when we reach enough materials for all the sailing related things, and then move back to Blue Dragons. Option B is we're going to stay at Frost Dragons, but we're going to invest a little more. Obviously, throughout this grind, we've been using absolutely 0 supplies, no prayer, no super combats, which is actually the big thing. No super combats, and we're not using piety either, so our DPS actually isn't that great. So honestly, either using piety or just like even being potted up, that's going to help tremendously. Not really sure what I'm going to do just yet. Another Dragon Metal Sheet. And wow, on the very next trip, another Dragon Metal Sheet. I believe those were only about 5 KC apart, so very lucky. We got a drop of 14 cannonballs earlier, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Not really noteworthy anymore at this stage, but 13 nails just 2 KC later. I was wondering how many dragon nails we're going to need in terms of the rosewood sail as well as the rosewood hull for the skiff so that we can do Gwyneth glides very easily. And that's going to be roughly 340, I think. I've done this grind one time before, but that was a while ago at this point, and I don't think I have any information written down anywhere. To be honest, the most important thing is going to be about 300 nails for the hull. The sail is a very, very marginal upgrade, but the hull is a huge change. Oh, and of course, we are back on the RD rooftop course. We've gained like 272k agility EXP today, and at least for me, I don't know about you guys, but that is a whole lot of EXP for this skill anyways. It's kind of crazy because 272 EXP, you know, a couple of weeks ago when we were working on smithing, that wasn't even an hour. That was like 40 minutes of work. Goes to show just how drastic of a change from skill to skill can be. Wow, today has been a fantastic day for Dragon Metal Sheets. Previously, I broke these sheets down in favor of getting more nails, but since I'm not in a hurry this time around, I'm going to hold on to all the nails so that I can make the cannons, the hulls, or whatever else I need the sheets for. I'm actually not too sure, but there are a fair few things. If you do break them down, I believe you get about 15 nails back, which is actually not a great conversion rate, to be honest. But back then, on sailing release, I was just desperate to get the 99 as soon as possible, and I was desperate to get a rosewood hull skiff. So all the dragon metal sheets and all the dragon nail drops have been pretty exciting on Wait For It, and we've been making good progress in agility EXP, but let's not forget we've been multi-skilling with the fletching all in the meanwhile, but honestly not much progress. We started at level 74 and we're still at level 74. This is because, as I discussed previously, when I'm running the laps, there's only like 4 EXP drops across the course of the lap where I can actually fletch, which is not good when I'm still in the process of getting through all these arrow shafts in the headless arrows. And yes, while I will speed up the process naturally once I get done with all the headless arrows and we start making the actual broad arrows, I've previously discussed that agility isn't the only time we can multi-skill and train our fletching. We can do it during construction, doing mahogany homes, but there's actually one more other option too. When we get to 77 runecrafting, after we do Guardians of the Rift for the full set, I don't know what level that's going to land us at, but once we have the set and 77 or more runecrafting, we're going to be parked at Zaya runecrafting. And if you don't know, there's actually a lot of running involved in that process, and I can spend a lot of my time there also fletching at that point if need be. Alright, I've lost track of how many metal sheets we've gotten today, but yet another one. Don't mind if I do. My last KC just now was actually KC 2000 on the loot tracker, that is. I do want to specify that because back then I did do a little bit on mobile, so the RuneLite loot tracker is definitely missing a couple of KCs. We're probably around 2,300 total KC right now, if I had to guess. I'll be checking my total KC at the end of the night, or, you know, more specifically how much we have banked. But right now we're still going strong, at least for a little while longer. Today has been a massive day of gains. We're up to 371,000 agility EXP gained on the day so far, as well as 37k fletching. It seems like I'm getting about 10% fletching EXP to agility ratio, and we've done a lot of birdhouse runs. We've gained 43.2k hunter EXP there, and in like a small window of time I did go over to barbarian fishing, another 28k fishing EXP. So EXP all around, massive gains. Well, that was very unfortunate. So I ran out of prayer and I should have teleported, but my auto retaliate was on and I already tagged a frost dragon. I didn't want to, you know, leave having tagged the dragon, so I tried to full finish it before TPing out. But obviously I had no food, no prayer, and unfortunately it just chomped me to death. This is what I get for trying to be conscious of like other people. You know, I should have just TP'd out. Alright, I'm gonna go collect my stuff, but to be honest, that might be my cue to call it for the night. Let me get my stuff, and then we'll look into the bank and see how much progress we've made today. I need to pull out some runes. The reason I'm in Yanil right now is actually because I have left-click teleport, or left-click to previous group house teleport, which is useful on the other account, but on this account, not so much. So I do have to... I just cast teleport the house like normal, and I'm back in my own POH. See, it's silly deaths like that just lose you 250k out of your desk coffer. Is that my evil Bob? It is. Okay, dismissed. Let's go ahead and take a look at our loot so far, and that's the notable stuff anyways. 2266 frost dragon bones, which is actually worth 14 mil. Wow, these things are 6.2k a pop. Not bad. Dragon nails, which have held value even after all this time. 6.9 mil worth of those, 148. So I mentioned the 340 number. I think that's about accurate. So we're a ways away from that, especially if we don't want to break down dragon metal sheets. If we did want to break them down, I think we're actually pretty close. We have 459 dragon cannonballs. Again, I don't know if I'm ever going to make use of these. I don't know. And then the 10 dragon metal sheets. If we continue to do frost dragons, I'm going to need another 18,000 or so frost dragon bones. So yeah, that could take a while, but likewise, agility is going to take a while. And there's also other skills we can be doing while we're working on this. Again, let's just see what happens once I get enough nails for the rosewood stuff for sailing. What a fantastic way to start off a new day. 14 dragon nails. And we did a ton of barbarian fishing on mobile, leading us up to this point at 96 fishing. I'm going to stay here a little while longer as I continue to work on some other stuff, but we're going to be heading back to the Arty rooftop course shortly. Turns out playing 2 accounts while trying to edit stuff is pretty difficult. I just planked. Now how am I going to get back there? I don't have any house tabs and my max cape is obviously in the gravestone. How did I get back there the last time? Oh right, I'm on standard spellbook. I have the runes. Okay. Non-issue. Let's just make sure we hit the right teleport though. We want to teleport to our actual house and not our group mates because 416 Heroes house is completely empty. That will change in the future, but right now we're still working on fishing and agility. Quite some time later, but we've been working on frost dragons all this time. Another dragon nails drop. This time around only the 5, which is actually the lowest amount you can possibly get, so unlucky in that regard. But in general today, we've gotten a ton of dragon nails, easily over 30 already today, so I think things are evening up. Earlier I discussed that, we were getting a lot of dragon cannonballs, which actually aren't too useful for us, but dragon nails on the other hand, that's a different story. And it just keeps going. 13 more nails. Honestly, I need to check how many we have. We might be close to that 340 number we've been going after. Okay, maybe not. I'm getting ahead of myself, but it is a lot of nails today. I've spent most of my day here at Barbarian Fishing, but it's time to peel off for the night and get started on some agility training. All the Barbarian Fishing has netted us about 15k agility EXP, and we're now 166,000 EXP, removed from 93. I should be able to get that before the night's done with. The day only gets better and better. 11 dragon nails into a dragon metal sheet, back to back. And another nail drop. I actually got one prior to this too, but I figured, hey, you know what, there's no point in showing them, but it just keeps happening and happening, and it's turning into something special, I guess. I don't remember the last time I've seen a dragon cannonball drop today. But in saying that, that's probably going to happen next. The second dragon metal sheet of the day. We cannot be stopped today, I guess. Alright, what is going on? Let's take a look at the chat log here. It was only 8 minutes ago I pulled those 7 dragon nails, and then into the dragon metal sheet, 3 minutes later, more dragon nails. In fact, you can even see above in the chat all the previous nails and metal sheets we've gotten. What a day so far. Well, the streak of dragon nails and dragon metal sheets has finally been broken. 13 of the cannonballs. All that excitement, let's go ahead and check the bank to see how many bones we have. We are up to 2,502. Dragon nails, 247, and then dragon metal sheets we're up to 12 now. That is a whole lot of dragon metal sheets, actually. And we're going to need about another 93 nails. Surely we're going to get that soon. Well, not that we're in a hurry right now, but yeah, we're only 92 agility, still 93 in approximately 2 hours. All the action is happening on wait for it, but let's check in the 416 hero on the Arty rooftop course. Let's talk to the sandwich lady first and foremost. Didn't even get to finish. We get a pie and not a baguette. You know what? I'm not even interested. Goodbye. And we're about to start our 1500th rooftop lap. A long time coming. I'm not sure how many more laps it's going to take to get to 93, but it's coming. And as far as our arrow shafts and headless arrows go, we finally dropped under 1 million arrow shafts, but that just means 999k to go. The more I think about this, the more likely I might have to start doing some fletching while we're on the rune crafting grind. A huge aspect to this game is RNG, especially when you're hunting for drops, and when you're on a grind as long as this, camping one specific mob, it's funny to see how the RNG plays out and sometimes evens out. This is another dragon cannonball drop, 13 again in fact, and to be honest, I expect to see a whole lot more of those. And once again, it is birdhouse o'clock. I absolutely love doing birdhouses. I can't pinpoint exactly why. I mean, I have a few reasons, but even post 99, I just keep on doing them. and it's not like I'm in any short supply of brews. And on this note, I have a confession. I don't know how many of you out there are on the grind for the evil chicken outfit. If you didn't know, you need god eggs, and you get a whole ton of those by doing birdhouse runs. Well, I'm here to tell you I have not claimed a single, or I've not turned in a single egg across either of my accounts. And keep in mind, I've done Hunter exclusively through birdhouses, with the exception of Quest EXP and whatnot. But all the EXP up to 99 on Wait For It, and same story that's going to happen here on 416 Hero is going to be completely through birdhouses. So you can only guess how many of those god eggs I actually have. Another dragon metal sheet. I think we've gotten like 5 or something like that today, and I can tell you I definitely have not gotten enough KC to warrant that. I will most definitely take the spoon. Only a couple of minutes after pulling that dragon metal sheet, I did say I would be hitting 93 agility today. Well, on lap 1637 here at Artie, there it is, 93 agility, and we unlock a Mire Ditch Laboratories shortcut. I'm not exactly sure which one that one might be, but it could be useful. It's either the Bloodveld one, or even access towards the Blood Rune, the true Blood Rune altar. So actually a pretty useful unlock. Again, I'm not sure which one it is, but either way, it's a useful area. And let's just stick with 416 Hero for right now. Let's look at our fletching. We just got 10k EXP and some change to go until we finally get a level. We've been 74 fletching this entire time, but we're going to be 75, not on this session, but perhaps the next gaming session we do, because this one we gained about 17k EXP. And again, I didn't get too much time today to actually do the course, so I'm almost certain on the next time around, we're going to be picking up that level. We're likely going to be picking up a few more fletching levels along the way as we get rid of all these arrow shafts. And then it'll really take off once we start fletching them into broad arrows. Before we started running laps here at Artie, we discussed that we needed about 8,600 laps completed here. And that's not accounting for the barbarian fishing agility gains there. And right now we're up to 1641. Let's just do a generous round down to 8,000. So assuming we're going to need another 6,400 laps, well, we're less than 25% of the way there. I'm not sure if that's motivating or demotivating to know. It's that time of the night to check in on how many Frost Dragon bones we have, and I'm excited to see how many nails we've gotten today because we definitely got a lot, but I haven't been keeping track of the exact numbers. So let's take a look at the Frost Dragon bones. 2714 Frost Dragon bones, not too bad, a long ways to go. Now let's take a look at the nails. We're up to 301 of those bad boys now, so 39 more, and then we can consider moving away from Frost Dragons. We're up to 539 Dragon Cannonballs now and 13 Dragon Metal Sheets. Honestly, it wasn't just the nails today. The Dragon Metal Sheets, we got like 5 or 6 of those today as well. So that was absolutely massive. A huge spoon in that regard. Right now, I still don't feel rushed, so I think I'll continue doing Frost Dragons just because it's so chill. It's 0 resource usage as I just walk in and pray melee and teleport out as I run out of prayer or run out of health. And currently, we're still 93 agility. I mean, we just hit that a few moments ago. So we're a long ways away from 99. We're not going to be training prayer anytime soon. Although, if I had to guess, at our current rate right now, what we're pacing at, I'd probably hit 99 agility and we still wouldn't have the amount of Frost Dragon bones needed banked. So at some point, I will have to consider going back to Blue Dragons or doing something else entirely. Anyways, I'm going to be putting my head down, both literally in real life, as right now I'm probably going to be heading to bed, but also figuratively in the game, doing our Artie rooftop courses and grinding out dragons one way or another to get our prayer EXP. This is going to be the game plan for the next week in real time. And I mean, obviously our ultimate goal is to get to 99 agility, obviously, but I will be taking a brief step away from the Artie rooftop here to do something else on both accounts. Actually, we're not going to be doing Frost Dragons or the Arty Rooftop course. And that's because there's a skill of the week and a boss of the week that I potentially will partake in. For all I know, I mean, right now it's still a week away, and these are really low stakes for fun challenges in the clan. So, you know, I could choose to do it. I could not do it. It doesn't really matter one way or another. The skill is one that I can pick up and train at any given time. I'm definitely ready for it. It's just I've personally put it off for later just because I wanted to get agility out the way as soon as possible. But I think having the added motivation of competing with some clanmates, I am going to do that skill. As for the boss of the week, I'm not 100% convinced I'm going to be doing it. It is going to be Zora. I could maybe cope my way into saying that Zora does drop Dragon Bones, and it is still gaining prayer EXP, but I mean, I don't really know how much Dragon Bones we can expect from doing 1 week of Zora. So yeah, I'm more certain on the skill of the week. Boss of the week, I'm not too sure. We'll just see what happens when the time comes. But for the next 7 real days here, we're going to be grinding away, and I imagine we're going to pick up an agility level or 2. We're definitely going to pick up a fletching level, and I don't think we'll quite hit 99 fishing, although we are gaining a lot of fishing EXP at Barbarian Fishing. But we're definitely going to pick up maybe another level there as well. So a lot of gains to be had even before the skill and boss of the week. 75 fletching. Let's see what we unlock. We can now fletch magic logs for 90 arrow shafts, and we can now fletch rune arrows as well. I don't think I have any rune arrowheads though. 2 dragon metal sheet drops in 1 trip. Absolutely massive. Another case of incredible luck so far. 2 rolls of dragon cannonballs and 2 rolls of the dragon nails all in 1 trip. Checking in at 2,000 Arty Rooftop laps. Coincidentally, we have a clanmate doing a birdhouse run at the same time we are, but we just hit 90 hunter. I said that kind of weird, 90. Chambers, Xerix, Bats, and Crystal Implings barehanded. On lap 2,423 right now, and we're going to be picking up another agility level. 94 agility. A long time coming, but, it doesn't get any quicker from here. It only gets slower, actually. 5 more levels to go, so 99. Another day at the Frost Dragons, and we just got a Dragon Spear. Anyways, we're out of prayer right now, holding on the dear life, trying to finish off this dragon before we TP out. Checking in with 416 Hero, did a lot of mobile fishing, and we're coming up on another level. So, some 3-tick fishing to make the push, 97 fishing. Oh, no pop-up to tell me what I unlocked. Maybe we didn't unlock anything. Like I said before, when you get to the high levels, you don't quite unlock things usually, with the exception of a few skills, but at this point, it's just levels just to get 99 just because. Alright, I'm moving on to the bank, and I'm going to TP over back to the Arty Rooftop. We're currently 94 agility, halfway to 95. Another day, and who knows how many hours later, but we reach another milestone. 3,000 laps. 76 fletching. Let's take a look at what we unlock. Amethyst Broad Bolts. Okay. I've determined that we need to pick up the pace in terms of collecting prayer EXP. As such, we're going to be moving away from Frost Dragons and going back to Blue Dragons so that we can get more prayer EXP an hour. The downside is that we're not going to be getting any of those goodies anymore. So before we move on, let's just take a look at what we ended up with. Let's chuck everything into the GE price checker, and this is 70.8 mil worth of loot. Of course, not everything was from this one grind. We already had some cannonballs, some frost dragons, a little bit of everything before we started, but the bulk of this was gathered in the last several days to a week. Actually, honestly, I've lost track as to how long I've done this grind for. Probably over a week, actually, if we're being honest. But in over a week, we jumped from about 1,200 Frost Dragon Bones to just 4,300, which is a lot, but also not as many as we need. We're going to need a whole lot more. So yeah, there we have it. Let's move on back to Blue Dragons, where the plus side is we're going to be getting blue scaly dragon hide, in which that's going to be herblore exp, as well as just herbs in general, because blue dragons do drop those. However, the downside is no draconic visage chances. Baguette chance? Never. Wow, I was not paying attention, but we just hit 95 agility. Looks like that does not unlock anything. And that is lap number 4000. We are currently level 95 with 274k to go until 96. I don't know how many days it's been since we hit 95 agility, but many hours later, here we are at 96. Just 3 more levels to go, and it looks like we do unlock a shortcut. Beleti Caves Crevice requires Legends quest. Okay, earlier we had an unlock that was also in this cave, Legends quest, so I guess it's somewhere in the Karazi jungle. I almost forgot about this, but it's that time of the week, I think, to do Tears of Guthix. Just 191 tears this time, 40 sailing, up to 43. Let's see what we unlock. A couple of new islands, Karn Isle and Chinchampa Island, and the salvaging station. That's going to be huge, actually. Also requires 34 construction. We have that covered. Some AFK barbarian fishing, as AFK as it can be anyways. It's only about like probably not even a minute and your inventory is full or the fishing spot moves, but 98 fishing. We've been doing a whole lot more fishing recently than thieving, so we are currently still 96 agility, but we are now 98 fishing, 1 level removed, a whopping 1.2 mil EXP until 99. As I stated earlier, I was just going to do a whole bunch of agility and fishing for 1 week until the clan skill of the week and boss of the week started. Well, that's going to be tomorrow in real time, so I'm going to call it here temporarily as far as our agility and fishing progress goes. Pretty good progress. We're now just 1 level away from 99 fishing, and like I said, I hadn't done too much agility on the last few days, so we're still 96 right now, although we are now 25% of the way through. Still a whopping 754,000 EXP to go, though, but that's just what to expect at this stage at these high levels. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap it all up. Oh, and we're closing in on 77 fletching, so there's that too. We're going to be getting a whole lot of fletching levels over the course of the next week as well, though, because with construction training, we're going to have a lot of time for that as well. So with that being said, I'm going to call it here, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.